Hello. Today I'll be presenting my science fair, which as you can see is about security systems. Today's security market has truly provided a constant in homeowners' lives, as they are mostly automated and independently inform the customer of any irregularities within their home, whether that be through motion sensors or possibly a display message when the door is opened. And as the security system manufacturers, they have all continually developed their respective products, and of consequence, they've made them more difficult to understand. Which is why today I decided I would try to break down the idea into its fundamentals. Um, for this, I'll be using a Raspberry Pi, a breadboard, wires, a monitor, a Hall sensor, and a data acquisition device. But before putting these thoughts into effect, we first have to understand how it works. We have four different connection points: the Raspberry Pi, the breadboard, the Hall sensor, and the data acquisition device. And in order to make the project work, we must effectively connect these four things where each of them belong using the separate wires. Uh, First off, we use the mentioned chip, which also provides a separate GND pin, which helps in avoiding high resistance between source and load, which in this case is the voltage in the resistor. Then we connect the VCC and VSS pins, which supply and collect voltage. Uh, Afterwards, I connect the SDA and SCL from the chip to the breadboard, which synchronize the data so it can then be transferred bit by bit. And then once I've done this, I proceed to connect the Hall sensor to the Pi. And when this is
Once
done,
the Pi is
I can
displayed,
transfer
we
all the
have to
connections from
we have to work
the
on the code
sensors
that
to the
works
breadboard
accordingly
into the
with my
Raspberry Pi.
devices. But fortunately,
And
the
after
basic
I
code
do
for
this,
interfacing the
it's
Pi
ready to
with
be
the Hall
displayed.
sensor is pre-made, so we only have to set up the code in Python to ensure that the code interfaces appropriately with the information we already have. And so we go onto Python and type first ls to find the initial information we have from the directory. Then we choose the sensor kit we're using, which is the one from SunFounder. This is Before this we type in cd to change the directory. Then when you see we type c python, we're changing the directory again. And after this, we would type ls again to reveal the information about the file directory. Then we're presented with all the files with the code for most sensors in the kit, and so we choose number 17, which is the analog Hall switch. But before pasting this, we need to type the program we're running this on, which would be sudo python 3. And once we do so, as you can see, the Python indicates the intensity of the magnetic field, which I can later use to show whether the door is either open or closed. So if we head into the initial program of coding we're using and we run the program, as this is the magnet I'm using, and as you can see, when the magnet is in the sensor's vicinity, the magnetic field intensifies, which shows that the door is closed. And if I take it off, the door is open, closed, and so on and so forth. And yeah, that would be its fundamentals. But for future directions, maybe something I could do that would definitely take the project up a notch would be to reinforce the outer case. Also to maybe manage to actually put it inside a door frame. Also to redesign it so the wires wouldn't be exposed when
they were in the door. And one more thing uh, that would greatly benefit the project would be to incorporate a buzzer within the design. So when it reaches a certain intensity, or in the code when it reads when the door is being opened, it actually makes a buzzing sound. So you wouldn't have to be sitting all day waiting on your computer for the door to be open or closed. You could just wait for the buzzer, and that would definitely make it more convenient and more usable. This would be it for the presentation. Thanks for watching.